Hey. I'm not going to go on camera tonight because I just got home from work. And I don't feel like getting ready. But that's fine. I know it's going to be on KREM2. YouTube channel. So I'm going to pull that up. I'm just going to pull up like 5 different things because I just like to be ready. And last time I went crappy. So let's see. I wonder if they're gonna announce anything new or if they're just gonna hey Rody Gal. They're just gonna talk about the same stuff they already announced. But I guess we'll find out. Hopefully they have new information. But hey Pecan. So I don't know if you guys hold on, sorry. I'm looking through. It'll be streamed on KXLY University Idaho YouTube. So, here we go. University of Idaho YouTube. It says in 13 minutes. I thought, okay, yeah, that's right. It's at 6. Okay. All right, I have that one up, and I have KXLY too, just in case. All right. Hey, Amelia. Am I saying that right? Amelia Riviera. Hey, Beatlemaniac. So, did you guys see the Kaylee's parents interview? That was pretty interesting. They said, so the night of the murders at like 2 a.m., she had called her ex-boyfriend numerous times. Yeah, I'll be surprised if they offer any new info personally, too. And I do hope they clarify something. So there's so many confusing things. I thought her and Jack S had the dog together, but apparently it's Jack D. From this, what her parents said. Her parents said that that they think Jack D. They believe him wholeheartedly, and they don't think he had anything to do with it, and that they believe that him and Kaylee would have gotten married, and they only broke up because Kaylee was being a little brat, and that he is at 2,000% part of their family, and they just like love him and don't think that he could ever do anything to her. So her parents are positive that he is not involved, but she had called him that night several times, and then I guess she had Maddie call him because he wasn't answering, and then she sent him a text message asking him to come over, saying like, please come over, we share a dog or something like that. What do we think about the ex-boyfriend? I don't know. Like, from the pictures of him, he doesn't look like a guy that would just lose it and stab a bunch of people, in my opinion. If they believe it, then, I believe it, but there's always that chance, I guess. And police seem to believe him too, I think. So now I'm confused if food truck guy is Jack S or if he's Jack D now. Way too many Jacks, Jakes, and Jareds. Just all these J names, and There's 2 Jacks, a Jake, a Jared. It's a mess. So, I don't know, but yeah, I think that's what I think too. I think she was just drunk and she was calling him because they said they were very much like she still very much loved him. She was just, they said she was just being a brat and wanted her freedom, and wanted to take a break. And they were sure that they were working on it and they would get back together. Hey, Peppermint Schmoka. uh, Shelter and chill with cat, Elwood coffee. So they also said that police told them that the guy was super sloppy and that he left a lot of evidence and that it takes a while to process and that the FBI collected a lot of evidence. So apparently he made a mess, which definitely sounds that way. Here's my thing though. Like, I don't think this person, like, this is the vibe I get. I feel like the guy's probably a little older than a college student. And I don't think he knew the house that well. Like, I think, this is what I think. I think, all right, so Maddie and Xana worked at the Mad Greek. I think that maybe, there was some like weird regular there who followed them home one day, got like seeing where they live and showed up, or like a weird neighbor, and maybe they didn't really know the layout of the house well and just assumed that there wasn't bedrooms on the bottom floor because there's not many houses that have bedrooms on the bottom floor. So I'm just getting like I think, and maybe that was the reason why he went to Xana's room and then upstairs. Also, if he came in through the kitchen, because I thought maybe he went to Xana's room because he had to walk by to get upstairs. But now looking at the layout of the house, he wouldn't have to pass Xana's room. He could have just gone in and make a right and go straight upstairs. It was someone familiar with the house. I'm starting to think maybe they weren't. And maybe it was, someone they ran into at work or at a bar. Look, college is like a whole different world, especially if you have like a party house. And I'm sure there's predators who hang around just college campuses because, like, okay, Jameson, but like if you have like a party house, people just show up. People will just walk in your bedroom, turn on the lights, start yelling, screaming. They won't even have to know who you are. They just, if someone's drunk and they think there's a party, so it doesn't surprise me that the 2 roommates were down on the basement bedrooms and didn't hear anything or just chalked it up to partying because you probably can't hear that good down there anyway. And then if you did hear anything, it probably sounded like people partying. I mean, it's just something normal. Like in a college situation. And I know, like, I've done this when I was younger. This is not me victim blaming or anything. This is just, a typical thing. A lot of girls will flirt with guys all night, to get free drinks and stuff. And then, leave. And the guy will think, that there was something and there wasn't, It could be something like that. Like, it's just, you don't realize how unsafe sometimes you're being when you're at college, because it's, all fun and games and you think you're invincible, and, strangers just walk in your house and you walk in a bunch of strangers' houses. It's a whole different ball game. I can't even explain it. Like, I visited Penn State live band at 12 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, you know? And if you saw a party, you just walk in the house. You don't even have to know who it is. I don't think it was more than one person. I think it's one person. But I guess anything's possible, Anything is possible for sure. Oh. It says live. Hold on. All right, 3 minutes. Hopefully I don't have any internet issues. Pray. Pray that it doesn't give me trouble. I feel like I don't need that. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. How you doing, Amber? Yeah, I have this nice... I'm obsessed with the Chobani Flip s'mores yogurts. I love them. Like, I could eat them all day. So it's like graham crackers and chocolate chips, milk chocolate chips, and marshmallow yogurt. And then, did you ever see like Squid Games where they had that like sugar thing? They had to get the needle and carve out the picture in it. It's like one of those, all broken up in it. It's toasted sugar. And the toasted sugar is banging. It tastes like, what is that stuff? Why can't I think of it right now? Not like they make it in like little, like, it's like hard, and they make it in like a, gosh, why can't I think of the name? But it's not butterscotch, but it's like similar, but it's hard, and they make it in like a wafer, not like a wafer, but like a hard. Why can't I think of the name? It's driving me crazy. I'll think of it eventually. Coconut. I don't like coconut, so I won't like that. But the s'mores ones are slamming. They're so good. Like, the little toasted sugar bites are just so freaking good. I'm obsessed with it. Oh, we have. All right, let's tune in. We have video. I'm afraid if I put it on full screen, then it's going to be goofy, but I'll try. All right, I'm going to put it on full screen.
Good afternoon and welcome. Oh, my name is Chief James Fry with the Moscow Police Department.
Here we go.
The last spelling of my name is F-R-Y. I'd like to introduce Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier.
Yeah, it's like peanut brittle, but that's what the toasted sugar reminds me of. But it doesn't taste like that. It tastes like it literally tastes like toasted sugar. Like sugar that you put over some flake.
And Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson.
But it reminds me of like peanut brittle texture.
Has shaken our community, has continued to shake our community, and we continue to mourn for the victims. We will continue to vigorously pursue the investigation and pursue justice in this case. It is a complex and terrible crime, and it will take some time to resolve. Today, we want to clarify what we know and where we're at in this investigation. Our primary goal is public safety and to get a completion of this case and bring someone to justice. We continue to dedicate all the resources to this investigation. We've had 646 tips received, and all will be processed, vetted, investigated, and cleared. We've done over 90 interviews in this case so far, and the Moscow Police Department is utilizing the assistance from the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and Latah County Sheriff's Office. The personnel that has been assigned to this from the Moscow Police Department is 4 detectives, 24 officers, and 5 support staff. Federal Bureau of Investigators, we have 22 investigators in Moscow, 20 additional are assigned and located in the Treasure Valley, Salt Lake City, Utah, and West Virginia. We have 2 behavior analysis individuals from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For the Idaho State Police, we have 20 investigators, a public information officer, ISP forensic services, and a crime scene team. We have 15 uniformed troopers to assist our community to help provide the additional resources for our patrols. Detectives are looking to develop any content that would help us in this event. Anyone who has observed any notable behavior or has any video surveillance or can provide relevant information about these murders, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. Or you can email the tip line and that is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. At this time, I would like to introduce Captain Lanier to give you some additional information.
Good afternoon. My name is Roger Lanier. I'm a captain over the Operations Division for the Moscow Police Department. My last name is spelled Lanier. I just want to first state that this tragic murder has shaken the community. It's been very hard for members of the community, and it's been equally difficult for our officers and for the investigators. We will continue to put all of our resources towards investigating and bringing this to a resolution. Here's what we've determined so far. On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mulligan were at a local bar and were later at a food truck in downtown Moscow. They arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. on the morning of November 13th. Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house before also arriving home at approximately 1:45 a.m. 2 surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning. On the morning of November 13th at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was placed to the Whitcomb Dispatch Center reporting an unconscious person. The call originated from inside the residence and was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates. Moscow Police Department officers responded and located 4 victims, 2 on the 2nd floor and 2 on the 3rd floor. The Latah County coroners conducted autopsies, and detectives have been provided with the results of those autopsies. We know that the autopsies confirmed the identity of the 4 victims, determined the cause and manner of death as homicide by stabbing, and determined that it was likely all 4 victims who were asleep during the attack. Some of the victims had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times. There was no sign of sexual assault. Investigators have determined the 2 areas of interest within the city and have provided maps which are on our Facebook page and on our website. And these are areas that They have canvassed for additional surveillance video and tips and have contacted several residents in the areas. The areas are generally south of Taylor Avenue to Palouse River Drive and west of Highway 95. Detectives have also canvassed several other neighborhoods looking for evidence, looking for additional surveillance video, and contacting residents and speaking to them to see if they may have heard or seen something. I want to address several areas of speculation, conjecture, and misinformation that has circulated on social media platforms and otherwise. We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime: the two surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released, so any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject. Any online reports stating that the victims had been tied and gagged are not accurate. Detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road and searched those dumpsters in an effort to find additional evidence, but nothing of note was discovered. Early in the investigation, local businesses were canvassed in an effort to see if any fixed blade type knives may have recently been purchased. And currently, there are no suspects in custody, and we have not located a weapon. I want to assure you that every investigator involved will continue to put all of their resources and all of our partner agencies' resources into continuing this investigation. We do appreciate the community's support. We understand how stressful it is, and we will continue to work through this situation. At this time, I would like to turn the mic over to Colonel Wills from the Idaho State Police.
Thank you, Captain. My name is Kedrick Wills, KEDRICKWILLS, and I serve as the Director of the Idaho State Police. And I appreciate your attendance this afternoon as we talk about this horrific, horrific crime. The murders of Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee are a tragic loss to all of us. Nothing we can do will bring back these young lives. But we have an absolute commitment to working together to solve these senseless murders. And the way that we know how to do that is partnerships. And our partnership with the Moscow Police Department, with the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the University of Idaho to bring this issue to a conclusion and bring this to justice is absolute. We continue with Idaho State Police resources here on the ground in Moscow and throughout Idaho. Whatever the needs are, that's what we want to do. And the chief spoke about the Idaho State Police resources that are here, and he spoke about patrol resources. And we have those uniformed troopers here in Moscow and on the campus of the University of Idaho to help people to feel safe and to provide that security to the people that are here, both in the student body as well as in the community at large. And we will continue to do that as long as is necessary throughout this time. In addition, that's in addition to our forensics team that was here, in addition to our investigative team and all the other state police resources. We know that people want answers. We want answers too. As was already mentioned, this is really, really difficult for those investigators, those dedicated professionals who are investigating this crime. And a lot of people have expressed their desire to help. And the best thing that most of people can do to help is to stop with any kind of rumors and just seek official information that comes out of the Moscow Police Department. Anything that we have that we can share from a law enforcement perspective, we will
Yes,
share
it's
it
live,
as soon
Russ.
as we can, because that's how we think that we can get this to conclusion. Please, please rely on official sources of information, and please be patient. I understand that everybody wishes that this was solved already, but these things take time. It takes time to work through. You heard the stats of all the tips and everything, the interviews and everything that's been done. This takes time for our investigators to work through. So please be patient as we work through this investigation. We owe this to these young kids, to these young adults. We owe it to them. And we are absolutely dedicated to make sure that that happens. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce the University of Idaho President Scott Green.
Scott Green, President, University of Idaho. Last name spelled Green, like the color. First, we continue to extend our heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of the victims. As stated earlier,
I hope they
we
answer
want
some
justice
questions.
and appreciate the increased resources from the Idaho State Police and FBI that have been brought to bear on this crime. We fully appreciate and share
So
the
two of
frustration
the
of our
students,
employees,
Maddie
parents,
and
community
Xana,
members
worked at this
who
place
continue
called
to
the
push for
Mad Greek.
answers. While we wait for answers in the
Xana's boyfriend
investigation,
was
we've ramped
killed.
up
He
our
was in
security,
bed with
safety
her.
practices
And
our
Kaylee,
listening to
Maddie's best
students
friend,
and
was also
supporting them
killed. But it makes
in
me
any way
wonder if
possible.
maybe Kaylee and Maddie were in the same room because they were best friends. And Maddie was
University of
trying to
Idaho's primary
call
focus
Kaylee's
now is on
boyfriend for
supporting our
her.
students
So
and working to meet their very
if they
needs.
were in the same room,
The police continue to inform us that they believe this
she
was a
could have
targeted
been
attack.
collateral. You know
But we
what I mean?
recognize this is not good enough for some of our students who will want to complete their semester remotely until the person who committed the crime is in custody. We are also hearing that some students want to be back on campus and in Moscow because they gain comfort from the structure of classes and being with their friends and professors. All reactions and feelings are valid, and we all process these tragedies differently. We're asking instructors to plan for both sets of students as we finish the semester. We will be communicating decisions early this week so that families can discuss and plan their individual response over the Thanksgiving break. We learned a lot during COVID, and we have many course delivery options our faculty can deploy to meet student needs. Student and employee safety remain our priority. We have increased security patrols on campus since we were notified of this off-campus incident. We've also benefited from increased Idaho State Police presence on our campus, which we are grateful for. They have been a very visible force, and they will continue this dedicated presence on our campus into the foreseeable future. Importantly, they have also assigned resources to the community since this crime occurred off campus. In addition to the campus-wide precautions being taken, we offer the following safety and security features in our residence halls. We will continue our Safe Walk, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All residence halls are locked 24 hours a day and only accessible by students that live in the building. All guests must be accompanied by a resident of the building. Each residential community has a dedicated resident assistant staff and a live-in full-time resident director to help ensure a safe environment. Every evening, there are resident assistants that are on duty to perform safety and security rounds in their area, including during fall break. Housing and resident life always has at least 2 full-time staff members that are on call to provide support and emergency response 24 hours a day, including over the fall break. And our Learning Center Information Desk Living and Learning Center Information Desk is open 24 hours a day and will be open all of fall break for our students' needs. While we certainly hope there's a swift closure with the arrest of whoever is responsible for this crime, we must also be prepared for all the possibilities, including a lengthy investigation. We must balance safety concerns and the need to grieve, along with the long-term needs of our students and our employees. We're making security our top priority. We are also planning for the very real possibility that some students aren't comfortable returning to campus. We will do our best to meet the needs of all students. Our faculty is working hard over the break to consider alternative delivery methods. We will also continue making counseling services available for all our students and employees as we process our grief. The care and concern for our Vandal family is our primary role, and we take that very seriously. We are a Vandal family. Nothing means more to us than family. And I'd also like to just thank all those for the great outpouring of support we've received from the nation. It's been incredible time, and all those who stand in solidarity with us, just know it means a great deal to us. Thank you.
So we're going to open it up at this time to about 8 to 10 questions. We ask that only one question is asked per person, please. And I would also like to just see if there's an Argonaut reporter here. I think it's only fair to give our student reporter the first shot.
Speak up if you're in the room, if you're from the Argonaut.
Mayor? Are you from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Is anybody from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ted Williams, Fox News. You all have said that these killings are targeted. Can you share with us why you believe they are targeted killings? And do you know who, if any, of the victims were the actual targets of the killings?
As we stated earlier in the previous press release or press conference, we believe they're targeted because we take a totality of all the circumstances that we're looking at. Do we know any one person that it was targeted? We're not able to say at this point in time due to our investigation, but we still believe that. But we, like I said, we take a totality of everything that we're looking at.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. On the resources, do you have the resources that you need?
We do have the resources. It is an incredible outpouring of what we receive from the Idaho State Police and from the Federal Bureau of Investigations and Lake County. Anything we ask for is given. So at any time, if we need additional, all I have to do is call the colonel, and he will provide that. He's already guaranteed me that. And I know the FBI has said
I hope someone asks about the Jacks, and if they're two different
Emma
people.
Epperly from the Spokesman Review. I know you've said you're not going to release who the 911 caller was, but was the killer the 911 caller?
I will tell you no.
Such a wasted question for real, Parker.
From the roommate's phone, but you didn't say the roommate made the call. So did the roommate make the call on the roommate's phone, or can you clarify if it was another individual?
Killer was
Actually,
not
let's go
the
to this
911
first
caller.
and
Well, it's a follow-up, that's why I wanted to.
So what I'll say to that is it was made from the roommate's call or phone, excuse me. And we're not going to divulge who made that call it's part of our investigation still. And when we get ready to release that, we will.
Hi, Christina Corbin with Fox News. The male subject whom the women called, has he been ruled out as a suspect or person of interest?
Everything that we have taken from those calls, we have followed up on, we've cleared, and we believe that there's no connection there.
So he's cleared.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe somebody asked if that was the killer and you said no.
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the two roommates when police responded to the home?
So will you clarify that for me?
You're not confirming a roommate called 911, but used the roommate's phone. So was there someone else at the home other than those two roommates?
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Honestly, I'm not quite sure at this time, to be quite honest.
Do you guys have any idea if the killer's still within the community, or are you looking outside the community for the killer in terms of their physical location?
We are looking everywhere that evidence would lead us.
It's okay, Sarah.
I can't say if the person's here. I can't say what community the person's in. We're utilizing every resource we can to make that location of that individual. And part of that is the safety of our community is paramount. And that's why we brought in the resource that we brought in to keep our community as safe as we can.
Being so close to the border, does that make it kind of automatically an interstate investigation? Can you comment on that?
I cannot comment on that. I'm not even aware.
If you look in Washington at all, I guess,
We're looking everywhere. I'm going to take 2 more questions.
Not really, Sarah.
Do
I'll
you still
explain
believe
after we get off.
This attack was done by one perpetrator? And if so, how does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
You don't know how this happened without the other 2 roommates hearing it or waking up or noticing?
We do not. One more question.
Hi, Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. In the press release yesterday, you confirmed that the victims were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. Can you say which of the victims were found where?
I'm not going to go ahead and disclose that information. They were found on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And that's as far as we're going to go with that part of the investigation too, because all those key pieces do come to play later. So we do thank you. We thank you for meeting with us. We thank you for helping get information out. And I can assure you, we will continue to work hard. We will continue to do everything we can to solve this. So thank you.
I'm very disappointed in the questions. Like, they could have asked some better shit. I'm very frustrated with this. I really want to know if Maddie and Kaylee were in the same room, and I wish they would have friggin' answered that question, because that would really, really make sense, the theory that I'm running with. So, here's what I think. Yeah, they don't know shit. First off, so he's alluding to the fact that, all right, mind you, they have doors down on the 1st floor too. So somebody probably came over, probably Jack or Jake or whoever, the next morning, because Kaylee was begging him to come over the night before and he didn't see and he couldn't get a hold of her. So somebody probably goes over there, finds them and panics. He probably sees somebody laying on the floor. Listen, I would be fucking scared if I walked in and saw someone laying on the floor looking all bloody or whatever. At that point, you don't know why they're on the floor, why they're bloody. You can't tell that they're stabbed. So they probably called and said, 911, this person's laying on the floor. They look like somebody hit them over the head. You know what I mean? They probably look like head trauma or something at this point. And that's probably why the 911 call put it through as in like unconscious person. And he probably just was like, yo, give me your phone, and in a panic and called from somebody's phone, Yeah, Jack was coming over to get the dog there. It was probably Jack then. And that's a sin if it was Jack, because that was like his girlfriend of like 9 years or something. But so I don't get the feeling that this guy, whoever he was, I don't get the feeling that I don't think it was somebody super close to him. I think it's like, I honestly think, look, Maddie and Xana work together at the Mad Greek, right? Maddie and Kaylee are best friends. If you're drunk and you're lonely and your boyfriend's not coming over and your best friend's calling your boyfriend, it's not unlikely that 2 friends would fall asleep together in the same bed rather than sleep apart. You know what I mean? Like, if you're best friends since you were kids is at college with you, I would probably sleep in the same room as my friend instead of sleeping by myself if my boyfriend wasn't there, and neither of their boyfriends were there. So I personally think they were probably sleeping in the same room, Maddie and Kaylee, and then Ethan and Xana in the other room. If it was somebody from their work, that would make sense to me that Xana and Kaylee were the targets, and Xana and Maddie were the targets, and Ethan and Kaylee were collateral damage. You get what I'm saying? Maybe they knew enough to know where Xana's room was and enough to know where Maddie's room was or whatever. No, they were in Kaylee's room. But still, like, and maybe they had no idea that there was even bedrooms downstairs. I think it's somebody, some weirdo from their job, like a regular who comes in and followed them home one night or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that would explain. Because if Kaylee was just the target, why go to? Let me just show this. Melissa Jade made a really good house layout, and let me just show you something. Let me go to our community post so we can see it. All right. So here's her community post. This lays out the second floor, right? Here's the glass door and the windows. They're dusting the windows, so the person might have came in through the window, right? They come in the kitchen. To get upstairs, if Kaylee or Maddie was the thing, all he would have to do was go in and turn right and go up the stairs. But to get to Xana and Ethan's room, he has to go out, turn left, go in the living room, past the bathroom, and then into that bedroom. You get what I'm saying? So, like, it feels to me like, thank you, Sarah. It feels to me like maybe Xana and Maddie were the targets. Because they at least a little bit went out of their way to go to that room. And as long as that wasn't Russ and it was blood, then this is Xana and Ethan's room. And they were all in bed. Oh yeah, we looked up Zillow and the floor plan. I can go on Zillow real quick and show you. Well, let me keep this up so we can compare. But it just like that way you see the person would have had to go. Well, they said they were all in bed, Pecan, like all in bed sleeping. So that's why they didn't say like, you know, so-and-so got up. They said they believed they were all in bed asleep. So that's why I'm going with that theory. I mean, sure, that could have happened where like somebody got up or whatever, but I'm going off like what they said, and it sounds like they're implying that they were all in bed. So this is the kitchen. Well, hold on. Let me show you a picture of the side of the house first, because it's kind of hard to understand how the house is laid out without seeing the side of the house. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is the side of the house. This right here is the first floor where that driveway is, where all the cars park. Up here is Xana and Ethan's bedroom. Then next to this room is the living room. Here is the kitchen, and here is Kaylee's bedroom. Well, if they were all in bed, that would probably be pretty easy. I mean, I'm going to say there was probably defensive wounds because the dude probably came in, took out the one person real quick, woke the other person up, and the other person fought back, probably for both instances. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if they were in the same room, like, let's just say Kaylee and Maddie were in the same room. I'm going to go with that just because they haven't specified, and they were obviously together at 2:40 something in the morning, and she was having him call Jack's phone. So let's just go with that they were in the same room. Let's just say that. Then one would wake up, and so there's probably defensive wounds. The dude probably came in and killed Ethan right away, because obviously you're probably going to take out the guy first, and then Xana fought back, and then go upstairs, and then take out one person, and then whoever, you get what I'm saying? And the people downstairs, believe me, if you've ever been to a college town, they wouldn't have heard shit. And if they did, they probably chalked it up as them partying. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been, I doubt it would have been that loud, because the third floor, you probably can't hear anything. And then the only person who would probably have made noise on the second floor was Xana fighting back. So, all right. But from the basement to the third floor, I doubt you could hear anything. Sorry. All right, this is the kitchen. All right, so this is the living room, which is here. See, the stairs come up from the first floor, and you're in the living room. There's that little TV thing there. There's a couch here. You can see there's a bedroom right there, which is this room, which is a vacant bedroom. Nobody's in there. And then this is just the view from the other angle. And then if you go through here, there's a bathroom and then another bedroom. So you see the bathroom will be over this way, and then another bedroom. I don't know if it... Oh, yeah, because that looks like a door right there. So, yeah, the bathroom right there, and then the other bedroom. And then this way, there's a little hallway with steps that go up to the third floor. Oh, yeah, if they were drinking, they were definitely sleeping hard, and they probably were drinking. Here's another view from the kitchen. This is the glass sliding door, and there's a window here. The cops were dusting prints off this window. So I kind of believe that maybe the perp may have climbed through this window and then left out this door. Because this door is left open. Here's another view from the kitchen, like how it is. This is the bathroom. This bathroom, I believe. This is top floor. This looks like it would be... Was anything taken? Your name has got me cracking up. No, nothing was taken. No, nothing. Nothing was taken from the house. No. I believe this is Maddie's room. I know Kaylee's is the other one because you can match up her pictures. Her pictures in her Instagram, and from the window you can see the pictures. She has like green on her wall, and it says good vibes, and then she has another picture that's like... This is Kaylee's room right here. And they all have these little cutouts that look like you could like fit a bed in them or dresser, you know what I mean? But this is Kaylee's room. This is Maddie's room, I believe. Unless it's a... Yeah, it's got to be... This is another angle of Maddie's room. So... I think these are the steps up to the third floor. Let me see. Yeah, so these are the steps up to the 3rd floor. This is the 3rd floor bathroom. You can see it looks different than the other one. This is the basement. Yeah, it's all one house, but it's set up really strange because it goes from like one side to the other side. So it would be really hard for, it's almost like it's separated like apartments, even though it's not, like downstairs. The downstairs, they're able to walk in their own door. It's all connected. Like they can all walk through the house, but at the same time, it's almost like it's separated. All right, so here's the 1st floor. Why can't I look? I want to let me like, that's annoying. All right, so this is a bedroom. This is a bedroom. And a bathroom and a furnished room. And that's the door. I want it. So like this is this. A bathroom with a washer and dryer. This is 2nd floor bedroom. I hate how it's like not in order. So I believe this is the vacant bedroom. Or this might be, yeah, it's got to be the vacant bedroom. This is Xana and Ethan's room, which is here. And this is where the blood would have dripped down. Well, it's built on like a hill, so it's built in like a really strange way. Who has an M in her window? Maddie? Yeah, this is another view of Xana and Ethan's room. This is a basement bedroom. As you can tell, this is a basement bedroom because the breaker's in here. Here's the other basement bedroom. And see the steps that go up? That's the steps that go into the living room. Same room, and these are the big windows that are in the driveway where you can see the cars pull up. This is where you can see the hallway, that there's a furnished room and then a bathroom. This is another basement bedroom. I think this is the one with the breaker from the other angle. This is either Maddie or I think this is Maddie's deck. This is right outside of the kitchen. And we're back to square one. Okay, so you got it down? Looking at the side of the house. Yeah, it looks like a giant. The side of the house is oh, okay, from the outside, yeah. Sure, the house is built in section, yeah. So, let me show you. Hold on. I'll show you how you can see like Maddie's room. I think I have it somewhere. Hold on. Just trying to remember who I sent it to. I think I know. Hold on. I think I sent it to Parker. Maybe not. Yeah, I did. Okay. So. All right. See, this is on the 3rd floor. And the police are in there, doing crime scene work. So we know somebody was killed in Maddie's room. And the reason why we know this is because she had a decoration on her wall that said good vibes. And then, watch. Sorry, it's hard to see. I know I can't make it bigger, but you can see that painting right there. It's like tie-dye looking in the background. It's really close to the color of the wall, so it's hard to see. And then there's that good vibes thing. Hey, Willow. Hey, Gen X. So that's how you know it's Kaylee's room. Now watch, look. See the picture in the background? And then the good vibes thing? So it's definitely her room. Hold on. And here's the side of the house again if anyone needs to re-see that. So Kaylee's room's right here. So I'm tending to think, yeah, well, like I said, I feel like the killer probably wasn't that familiar, or was, and was only intending to kill Xana and Maddie, and Kaylee and Ethan were collateral, because I really think Maddie and Kaylee were probably in the same room. They've been best friends since they were kids. And like literally like 10, 11 years old, like best friends since they were kids. They were obviously together at 2:45 in the morning because she couldn't get a hold of her ex-boyfriend. She's trying to call Jack. So did you guys see the mom interview? Here, I can play that too. It's a couple minutes long, but the mom and the dad interview, and they give away some good information. Apparently the killer made a sloppy mess. Yeah, I think it's a stalker from their, like someone who ran into them at their job. Because Maddie and Xana worked at the Mad Greek. And I think maybe they had some like regular who came in who, thought he had a chance with one of them. I don't know, whatever. Or they kicked him out maybe, or I don't know. Maybe he followed them home one night and got an idea of their house or whatever. Or maybe they invited him over for like a party or something. And I think it was somebody who didn't know the house well and just assumed that there wasn't bedrooms in the basement because basements don't normally have bedrooms, or he was intending on those two and the other two were collateral, in my opinion. Or it was a neighbor who didn't like any of them. But you would think the neighbor would know about the basement rooms. I'd share a bed with you too. I'm saying, like, if I was by myself and no boyfriend, right? If you're in college, it's 2:45 in the morning, you're drunk with your best friend. Your boyfriend, the guy that they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. They broke up. But the guy isn't coming over. He's not answering. At 2:45, you have your girl try calling him. He doesn't answer. Wouldn't you just sleep in the same bed as your friend rather than go and be alone in your room? Her boyfriend wasn't there either. So if both of their boyfriends are not there, I would rather sleep in my friend's room than sleep by myself. But that's just me. I guess there's some people who like their space, but I feel like they're probably in the same room. I don't, yeah, I guess the knife could have been used on purpose. Slumber party, exactly. The house does have a strange layout, for sure. I mean, he would have to at least know, like, some of the house, maybe, like, drove by and peeped it a little bit, and got an idea of it, at least. At least. All right, hold on. I'm getting the interview real quick. Let me close out some shit. Oh, I didn't see they were on video. I didn't know that. Do I have the right one? Let's see.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai.
Yeah, so the girl who had the Range Rover, that was Kaylee.
during the
and
Hyundai
she was
Getaway sales event.
moving in December. Could be. But if she was, here's my thing though. If she was the target, I don't understand why all the other people got killed. I mean, I could understand why, like, her, if Maddie was sleeping in there and her and Maddie got killed, but then why Xana and Ethan? The killer wouldn't even need to go to Xana and Ethan's room. What the heck happened? It just like changed on me. The killer wouldn't even need to go in Xana or Maddie's room, you know, or I mean, in Xana and Ethan's room. Yeah, he could have looked at the Zillow. I mean, he could have looked at the house on Zillow, honestly. It could have been a total stranger for all we know. He could have followed them home one night, watching them, looked up the Zillow house. I mean, she wasn't even supposed to go back to school, but was so excited about her car. Yeah, the house is big. Maybe. But if they were sleeping, why not just be like, oh, okay, shut the door and, you know, leave and just say, oh, I was visiting so-and-so, my bad. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I feel like the killer could have easily got out of that one if he wanted to. Hey, LFT. Like, especially in a college house. Unless it was some, like, old, weird-looking dude, you know? I don't know. Drugs? Maybe. Maybe. All right, let me play this. Hopefully it doesn't do that to me again.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted.
I think so too, Parker. I think that's what happened with like Kaylee and Maddie probably too, is one woke up while the other one was being killed. Do I have the wrong interview?
Comfort or any sense of relief in the sense that the police have said that they believe this is a targeted killing.
No, this isn't the one I wanted. What the hell?
I don't think people are really changing their behavior because of the statement from the police about the targeted killings. It's just there's just so many unanswered questions and unexplained circumstances that people are just still trying to be real careful.
We don't know, obviously, who did it. We don't know if it was romantic.
I'm in the wrong interview. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find it right now. It was with Fox News, and the title of the art, like,
let's look at some of the evidence that police.
The one that I
reported so far. Let's take a look at the timeline for a second, if we can. We know that two of the girls, Kaylee and Madison.
So the one that I clicked on, look, it was literally the link for it earlier. I don't know how this.
They went to a bar downtown at 10 p.m. and they were at that bar downtown to about 1:30 in the morning. Then they left the corner club. You see the timeline on the screen.
This is the wrong one.
Over to that, food truck.
Sorry, guys. Let me find it. Why? Mother of Kelly revealed that her daughter sent photos. Here we go. All right, I got it. Sorry. I don't know how it brought me to a whole different article. Like, I
There's never been a
literally.
better time to get away. With a great
All
deal
right, I
on the
got it.
Hyundai
I got
you
it. I
always
got
wanted. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai.
They played
We
me.
are joined by the parents of Kaylee Gonzalez, one of the victims of this tragedy. Christy and Steve Gonzalez, thank you so much for joining us, and we're so sorry for your loss. Um, Christy and Steve, can you tell me about your daughter tonight?
Our daughter was driven. She was a three-time Dean's List
Hey,
member.
Sabrina.
The grades were amazing.
Oh, it's
School was
muting
my
the interview when I
she had
mute?
an internship that
Hold
she
on a
was
second.
offered a full-time position.
Did I not hit the sound?
And we've worked with them, and they've been great with us this whole time. But yeah, she was driven, and she was going to go somewhere in life, and a great member of society, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah, y'all have to be so proud of her. And she was taken away from us far too soon. Can you tell us what the authorities have been telling you? We want to do anything that we can to help you to get justice for your daughter and the rest of the victims. What are they telling you?
They're telling us that there's so much evidence that it's going to take a lot of time to process it all. This wasn't like a pinpoint crime. This person was sloppy. He did whatever. When I say he, obviously you can't say that. That's just me. But he made a mess, and there's a mess there, and they're going to have to go through that point by point, and that's going to take a lot of time. That's why they reached out to other facilities to help them with that lab work.
They do have a mobile unit on site that they said that they're able to really expedite things with this mobile unit. Hopefully, they're reaching out to other DNA processing type companies such as like 23andMe to get involved. They have not confirmed that
Where they
have
blur her
DNA from this
pictures.
person. They just said that they have a ton of evidence. And evidently today with the new task force, the new FBI task force on site, and the FBI, of course, and Idaho State Police, they said that they were able to pull a ton of evidence from the house today.
Yeah.
And they're processing that.
So
it just takes time.
Yeah, we've only heard positive stories about your daughter and the other victims out there. We couldn't find anybody to say anything about them. It's only been that they were givers, they loved everyone on campus. You see the videos on social media of them being so happy. Did y'all have any clue? I mean, there haven't been a murder in you guys' town since 2015. Did y'all have any clue that they may be unsafe on the campus? Was there any indication?
Absolutely not. And if they were, we would have told Kaylee to come home immediately. And same with Maddie. Maddie's family is our family. I know we're very close with them. They are not speaking out. They choose not to speak out, and they have asked us to please go ahead and speak on behalf of Maddie. They were best friends from little girls. She was part of our family. Kaylee was part of their family, and absolutely not. Our son went to that college. No, absolutely not.
My daughter was aware of her environment.
Very aware.
She turned her camera on. She would film when she thought somebody was following her out of a mall parking lot or a grocery store. She was very aware that, she was a pretty girl and that, it could attract some problems. So she was alert. She was a street.
Well, I will say there may have been a mess due to the fight, like the defensive wounds and fighting back. They may have got some DNA that way.
So ironic and just so surreal in all of it. Just very, sad for families when she'd hear about this type of stuff happening. Like, Mom, did you hear about that? Or Mom, did you hear about that?
Keep track of it.
And she was very well of her surroundings, very well. I mean, she would think somebody was following her, and she would call me and say, Mom, I think there's somebody following me. And I'm like, well, Kaylee, call the police, and then she'd say, oh, never mind. They just turned into 7-Eleven. She was aware, and very aware. And she locks her doors at night, and she locks her car. Kaylee was home, had just been home. So we are so thankful that she had just been home for a week and a half. She just bought a brand new vehicle for herself, her first vehicle. She had planned a trip. She was planning on backpacking across Europe for the month of January. starting her new job in February with this internship that she had done, wound up offering her a full-time, very well-paid position that she was very excited to take. And she was with us for the last week and a half. She went home Friday to literally go show off her new vehicle. She was like, Maddie has to see my new ride. Like, she has to see this. And she was talking to Maddie the whole time, going back and forth between the car she was buying, and said, I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to see me pull up and wait till you see what I pull up in.
Wow.
And that was Friday. And we spoke to Kaylee on Saturday, and she sent me pictures, a lot of the pictures that are online. And they were both of our girls. And
when was the last time y'all spoke? When was the last time? What was that conversation like? Was it just like you described?
Kaylee called me on Saturday. My birthday was earlier in the week, and I didn't get anything for my birthday. Boo-hoo. We were, she was like, it was not a big deal. But Kaylee called me on Saturday and said, Mom, I'll be home on Tuesday, and I'm going to take you out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's all on me, and we'll celebrate your birthday. And I said, well, I don't know if I believe that, meaning she'd pay, but that sounds great, Kaylee. And I'll see you on Tuesday, honey. And then she sent me a couple pictures of her and Maddie, and that was on Saturday afternoon around 3.
Have you had the opportunity to talk with any other victims' family members? I know you all are grieving together.
Only Maddie. And
it was just over at our house.
We just had Maddie's mother and father here. They were here for a couple, and it was very emotional for us today. That was the first time that we had gotten together. Just sad beyond belief, just beyond anybody's worst night. Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you could only fathom,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
it's heartbreaking. Maddie was an only child, but like I said, she was our child as well.
Yes,
And even Kaylee, how many siblings she had, she would always say 6. She said 5 sisters and a brother, or 4 sisters and a brother. And that was always Maddie. Maddie was in our oldest daughter's wedding. She said all of my sisters are my bridesmaids, and Maddie was one of those bridesmaids. And it was all of Olivia's sisters, including Maddie. She every time we traveled out of the country or went on vacations, Maddie went with us. So this is both of our girls, and we will never stop looking for who killed them.
We want to do everything that we can do in our power to get justice for your daughter. We keep hearing this name, Jack, and phone calls going back and forth.
You can see from like the far away shots of the house
We love Jack.
how like
Absolutely
separated
love
it is.
Jack.
Why
We
is
stand
that
behind Jack 1000%.
stool like that?
Jack was Kaylee's boyfriend for many years. They just recently broke up. There was no animosity at all. It was a breakup on Kaylee's point. It was not, they still talked every single day. Kaylee just thought that she needed a little break. They were on the mend of getting back together. Kaylee talked to Jack the whole time she was here for that week and a half.
One of her messages.
Both sides are accessible by their own doors. Like the first floor you can get in by a door, and the kitchen you can get in. The kitchen is in the back by the sliding door and the window.
Jack is not, they're wasting their time with Jack, and Jack is just as distraught as we are. Jack is our family. Jack is 100%, 2000% our family, and Jack is with us, and we stand behind him 100%. We're supporting him, and we know in our heart and our minds and our souls, in the depths of our souls, Jack is hurting, and he in Kaylee and Jack would have eventually been married. They would have eventually been married, and they would have eventually had children together. So to say ex-boyfriend, it was Kaylee just being a brat, being like, I just need a break. But Jack was in her heart, and they were close to getting back together. And that was just Kaylee being Kaylee. So absolutely, Jack is, no.
We don't think he's a suspect.
At all.
Wow. Ma'am, can you tell me about what the mood is like in the town? You guys have been so brave to come on the program tonight and talk about your daughter, talk about the other victims.
So that sliding door is the back of the backyard and the kitchen. Why is that stool there like that?
I mean, it was your daughter that was murdered. They are afraid to
I wonder
come
if
on
they
air
put it
because
there
they
to
feel
keep
like
people
they
out.
could be next. Are you hearing the same thing in the town?
I don't like the fear. I want to share my address and give it to you to share with them. I have no fear whatsoever of this individual. I almost welcome him to come to my house. This community has been amazing. Every day we wake up with more food than we can ever eat, donuts.
Yeah, the dad's like, I'll be happy to give this dude my address, and I hope he comes to my house.
Everyone feels the pain of this. I mean, that one shiny thing out of all of this is I've never realized how beautiful my community is and how much love there is there for people. We just have one bad person, and we have to find that guy.
And yeah, like my husband said, if he would like our address, we.
I think it looks like it's holding the door shut.
I'm not hiding my stuff online. It's there. You can look me up.
Christy and Steve, we continue.
We can't speak for those families.
Yeah, we continue to support you guys, and we want to remember your daughter's legacy tonight. What can we do in this stage of the investigation?
So maybe the police did it to keep the door shut.
Put the tip number up, but what can we do right now to get you guys answers?
They were dusting the outside of the window. I think I have a picture of it. Hold on.
It's a small community. This is like 7,000 people. We need to put a timeline out there where just random people can look there. I mean, people don't know, but their Teslas are filming 24/7, 7 days a week. So there could be somebody who doesn't realize that they have evidence.
Their ring cams, their phones, they were out and they were recording and you know what, they look and, oh, what's that shady person? Look at that guy that just ran across the camera in the back. It's always those little things.
Did you get gas during the time that this activity was going on?
Gas stations, did somebody go in and buy Band-Aids? I mean, obviously they're checking hospitals for somebody going in and, you know, we're assuming this person was wounded. We're assuming this person got hurt in this struggle and this altercation that took place that night. You know, they possibly needed stitches or were, you know, going to Walgreens at 3 a.m. getting Band-Aids. I mean, things.
So post that. We'll get you that timeline. You post it on your site.
They should have the timeline.
And that should help.
We have that timeline. We will post it up. If anyone that is, and it's right there on the screen, if you see something, if you saw anything minor, call the tip line. If you were there in that area, any little piece of evidence can help the authorities. I want to give y'all one last moment to tell our audience anything else.
My last thing is, if you have a daughter or even son in that area,
that's some dusting the outside of the window.
Information with your family. Don't walk around that town without everyone knowing who you are. That you have to protect yourself. We have somebody loose. I don't want to create a panic. I don't want to do anything like that. But you know what we know. There's somebody out there. He's not a psycho. And your daughter needs to share her address with you. She might not like that, but that's what you do in times
I'm stopping it because they're just talking about keeping your kids safe and shit.
Like this.
That's right. Christy and Steve, before I let y'all go.
But yeah, that's them dusting the outside of the window. So I think the guy might have climbed through that window and then went out the door. What car? I think there was tire tracks in the driveway they were getting castings for. They got a lot of people though, like in and out of that house. Trying to think if there's anything in this. I want to know who the private ride that drove them home was too. I used to have a stun gun. They searched the car in the parking lot today, the car that had been there all week. Was it one of the roommates' cars?
Really? I'm dodging all these people.
Oh, wow. That's crazy, Kelly Glitter. That scares me. The Uber driver thing scares the crap out of me. No signs of SA. So this is all right. Remember the food truck guy? Hold on, let me share my screen. The bigger guy, white hoodie dude was talking to. He was questioned by police. It says he was questioned by police today. Lots of rumors that it's one of the girl's boyfriends, but it's not. It's their neighbor. She claims she's friends with that guy. And the person said the stalker is their neighbor. And then that person said, he said that's what the police told him. So, could be a neighbor too, like a creepy neighbor. Let me see if I can find her Twitter. Vanagine 15. Let's see. I mean, take that with a grain of salt because she could be lying. But I did see the actual guy. I think his name is like Joe Divot or something. Hold on. Let me see if I can find him on TikTok because I did see his TikTok and he said the same thing. You know the heavier guy who was standing at the food truck who was talking to white hoodie guy? Police interviewed him and he says that people think it's the girl's boyfriend, but it's not the girl's boyfriend. It's the police told him that their neighbor was stalking them. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find his. Like, he claims the police alluded that their neighbor was stalking them. Joe Vidot. Hold on. I was close. I got the D and V. I'm trying to find like a video of him where you can actually like see him. But he was like the guy in the brown jacket that was talking to white hoodie guy.
It's really hot. It doesn't really smell bad, but
Getting asked to sing something pretty for a church camp.
He supposedly is like the guy who was in that like brown shirt. I don't know. Let me try and find out where. All right, so he says only issue is he was one, their neighbor, and two, having issues already with them, apparently. And then he puts in parentheses what I've heard. And then someone commented, "Oh my God, it's you. I hope you're the key witness to solve this, and also hope you're okay." So he was like, supposedly he was the guy with the brown hoodie on that was talking to the guy in the white hoodie. And then he kind of pointed and said, like, "Hey, your friends left you, that dude." And then seeing if I can find all right, here. This was his post. Come on. All right. So she shared his post and it says, "This is so crazy. I thought I saw those girls who were killed on Saturday night at the grub bus. So I called the cops to tell them what I saw. Girls circled in blue. Apparently, I may have been actually talking to the murderer who was stalking them. I feel weird and sick. I was literally there. That's him in the leather jacket and the white hoodie. But then he says, wait. All right. So remember how we initially went on and on about Jack S. And we thought that Jack S. was Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. Oh my gosh, it all makes sense now. What if, hear me out, the police the whole time were talking about Jack D, saying, well, no, because they said the food truck guy was cleared. The food truck guy was cleared, right? Didn't police say food truck guy was cleared? The guy who was at the food truck? I have to go back and look now. There's been so much rumors and like I don't remember what is rumor and what is not. Moscow. All right. Let's look. No, I don't want Russia's place of. All right. So what if Jack S is the neighbor that they're having trouble with? But I swear they said food truck guy was cleared. So. I'm looking now. All right, so private party driver is cleared. Let's go over this again, just because I need to remember. They said food truck worker and guy were clear. So, Ecto, there's two Jacks. There's Jack D, who is her ex, who she shares the dog with. And then there's Jack S, who's their neighbor. Jack Show. And then there's a Jake something. I forget. Jake something with a T, I think. Yeah, I heard about that too. Someone skinning animals. But I swore they said the guy in the white hoodie at the food truck was cleared. So if the guy at the food truck is cleared, then yeah, someone skinned a dog. They did. All right, so Uber person, they do not believe he's involved. Okay. So we know now the two roommates were asleep. They didn't wake till later, but a friend showed up and called 911 with one of the roommates' phones. The victims were located on the second and third floor. Detectives are aware of multiple phone calls made from Madison and Kaylee to Jack D. Okay, so they're all clear. Yeah, so he just said in the press conference they had, he implied that the 911 call came from inside the house, and then he said something along the lines of, well, because they were like, how, I forget how the person worded it, but they were like, how did the roommates not call 911, but their phone was used or something like that. And then he said something along the lines of, well, people who didn't, like friends of them showed up to the house. And I guess they were the ones, he implied they were the ones who called. Yeah, they probably want to protect a person so that the media doesn't go calling them and bothering them. You know, if they release the name of who called 911, every news outlet and everything is going to try and reach this person to find out what they saw and, the whole 9 yards. So they're not releasing that name for a reason, which I don't blame them. That person probably doesn't want to be bothered. But they alluded to the fact that it was a friend of the roommates. So all right, so there was a post that somebody faked as one of the roommates. So I think that got misconstrued, Tony. But if they did hear noises, they probably chalked it up to partying. I don't know if that was. Please check TMZ. All right, hold on. Right on their website. This one? Yeah, they haven't released the identity. Series of calls named Jack. Jack's Kaylee's ex. Some of them had defensive wounds. Did they post anything else besides that? Let's just type in Idaho. Two of them. Yeah, it wasn't really frantic, though. They totally blew that up. It was... I think they're referring to Maddie and Kaylee. Yeah, they called Jack, which is Kaylee's ex, and it wasn't frantic. She was just begging Jack. They released the parents said what the text messages were. Thank you, Glitter. So they didn't say what the text, or they said what the text messages were. She texted him and was like, please come over. Like, we share a dog together. Just come over, blah, blah, blah. So it was kind of like drunk. I would chalk it up to like drunk texting. Like, she wanted him to come over and stay the night. And he wasn't answering. And of course, she was probably freaking out because they had just broken up, and she was probably like, call him, he's not answering me. What if he's with a girl, So that's what I'm chalking it up to. She was probably wanting him to come over and, whatever. So, all right, so multiple phone calls. Gosh, as soon as I think I'm onto something, then I lose it. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe the creepy neighbor is Jack S, but no, because Jack S has been cleared because he's the food guy, so that guy's wrong. Maybe they initially thought it was him, and then he cooperated, and that's why the cops went in that direction. I think maybe that's why they may have backtracked their statement about, of course. It is strange, but I think she was trying to make him feel bad. Like, saying like, come on, come stay the night. Like, come on, man. We have a dog together. You know what I mean? Because like she broke up with him. Yeah. When you get home and you're lonely and you're drinking. Yeah. I finally had to click it 200 times, probably because of my phone screen. Okay, I will let you know if you have 200 memberships. I don't think it will do that. Hopefully not. Yeah, I think she was trying to manipulate him with the like, come on, come over type deal, Let me see. Hold on. Where's the other one? Didn't they? Okay, hold on. All right, here's the other one they released with the information. They were at a local bar called the Corner Club between 10 and 1:30. At approximately 1:40, they were seen on video at the local food vendor called the Grub Truck at 318 South Main Street and use a private party for a ride home from downtown to arrive at their 1122 King Road residence at 1:45 a.m. Investigators have determined that Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were seen at the Sigma Chi house. Is it Chi or Chai? On the University of Idaho campus at 735 Nez Perce Drive. At approximately 1:45 a.m., Ethan and Xana were believed to have returned to the residence at 1122 King Road. It was previously reported that Ethan resided at the home. However, it has been determined he was only visiting. I believed he lived at that blue-looking frat house. The dog is with Jack, her ex-boyfriend. So she was with Jack for like 9 years. And then I guess she broke up with him, like, I want to break, I want to do what I want kind of thing. And they were working on getting back together and sharing custody of their dog. I believe he goes to that school too. And then she was, begging him to come over that night, and he claims that he was asleep and didn't even hear it. All right, so on November 13th at 11:58 a.m., officers responded to the residence after a 911 call reported an unconscious individual. Now, keep in mind, this is probably because whoever visited the house showed up and saw someone laying on the floor bloody, and initially probably thought it was from like head trauma, like somebody hitting their head or getting hit in the head by something. If they were all in their beds, they might have not have seen the extent of it yet and just saw someone laying in blood, So they could have called and been like, they look like they've been hit over the head with something, whatever. And then the 911 operator could have just been like an unconscious person in the home. It could just be how the 911 operator related. So I wouldn't think too much into that. I guess you would have to give up the dog before backpacking through Europe in January. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Can you bring your dog backpacking with you in Europe? Maybe. Yeah, her parents really, really like that guy, apparently. And they really just felt like they were going to get married and that she was being a brat about things. It's pronounced... Oh. So not Chai, it's like Kai? Interesting. Or I didn't know that. All right, where was I? Autopsies were conducted on the 4 individuals, and their manner of death is homicide by stabbing. The coroner stated that the 4 victims were likely asleep. Some had defense wounds, and each was stabbed multiple times. No sign of SA. At this time in the investigation, detectives do not believe the 2 surviving roommates with the male in the Grub Truck surveillance video are involved in this crime. Additionally, online reports of the victims being tied up and, are not accurate. The identity of the 911 caller has not been released. Part of the investigation, detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road to locate evidence. They've not found any evidence, they said at the press conference. And they have been reaching out to stores to see if that particular blade has been purchased. Okay. Mothra, I think, so it sounds as though they alluded in the press conference to that some visitors had come to the house and that they called 911 with one of the roommates' phones. So like somebody showed up to the house and, I guess found one of them or all of them or whatever, and then grabbed the phone and used the roommate's phone to call. That's what they alluded to. They won't. I doubt they're going to say the name of the person because they're not going to say the name of the person because then the media is going to hound them to death wanting a story from them, in my opinion. They said the 911 call wasn't relayed right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured that. I figured it was, the dispatcher changing it to be that way. Sorry, Dave's gaming, if you can hear him cursing in the background. Yeah, I hope they didn't tamper with the crime scene either, but it sounds like they probably thought somebody was hit over the head, and their prize looked like they probably said, it looks like somebody beat them over the head or something, and then 911 probably said, oh, an unconscious person on the floor. And I wouldn't be shocked if the person was scared. I would be scared to get close to. Yeah, exactly. We don't need anyone bullhorning the 911 caller or, tragedy pimping them or whatever, them calling the poor 911 caller and they're bothering them. Sorry, I just wanted to look through her tweets real quick. I think maybe they were going the neighbor route and then the neighbor cooperated and now they're confused. Okay, she hasn't really said anything else.
This is not easy.
But were the bodies removed? Were the bodies removed from the house on last Sunday afternoon, evening, or did they wait until Monday? I imagine they would have removed the bodies right away just to salvage any, because the longer you wait, as soon as they did their investigation, like as quick as they can on the bodies, I'm sure they moved them. They probably took pictures and everything, and they moved them to keep everything intact, because the longer you wait, decomp starts and all that. So, oh yeah, I'm sure and that house was a party house from the sounds of it. So I'm sure I think that's why they were saying like it's going to take a really long time to sift through this evidence, because think about it. Think of all the people who probably walk through that place, leaving their DNA everywhere. And it's probably a nightmare, And then they're going to have to exclude all those people. Hey, True Texan. Thanks. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, of course it's not disrespectful. I mean, that's something to keep in mind, because if one of the girls did have an OnlyFans, then it could be some person who met her on there and is obsessed. You know what I mean? Like, did you ever hear about that one girl who was an OnlyFans model? And then I guess she had a few like personal clients, and not saying that this is the same situation. I'm just saying that she had like a few personal clients, and the one guy put a tracker on her car to see like where she was going, because he wanted her to, like, even though he was seeing other women, he wanted her to himself and didn't want her to see other men. And he put a tracker on her car, and she found it and posted about it. And then I guess he did it again, and he like found out she went to another guy's house and he killed her, like, brutally. So, not saying that it's the same situation, but I'm just saying, like, people can get obsessed in weird ways, like, especially if they are a member of, oh my God, hold on a second. Okay. I had to yell at Dave. They've lived there for 3 years, no telling how many people traveled there. Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you, like, when I went to Penn State, I was there for a weekend, and there were so many people that walked in their house they didn't even know. They're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, groups of people just show up and walk in. If you have a house, like a party house, they literally just show up and walk in and make themselves comfortable. Like, if you don't lock your door, they will just walk in your room, turn on the lights, start trying to party with you. Like, could explain the Range Rover in the back. Yeah, that's a good call. I didn't think about that. How she had the money. Yeah. She was pretty too, so she probably made good money on there. Maybe that's why. Yeah, he was like telling somebody to do some terrible. He was saying a lot of really bad language, so I had to yell at him, and he was screaming it. Melissa, it sucked. No, we were saying that. She said that she thinks she heard that one of the girls had an OnlyFans, and I was talking about that there was another chick in the news. I'm saying that some weird people can get obsessed with you from OnlyFans, and there was a similar, not similar, it's not the same thing at all, because that girl was personally seeing clients, and not just, she had an OnlyFans, but she was actually personally seeing clients, but one of her clients got so obsessed with her, he put a tracking device in her car. So we're saying that, there could be, creepers from OnlyFans if she had OnlyFans. That's what I was implying. But yeah, not the Range Rover. She probably made good money. I mean, if she had an OnlyFans, she's really pretty. She probably made good money on there. She was saying that from the money if she did have an OnlyFans and she made a lot of money from that, that would probably explain why she could get if her family wasn't wealthy, how she could, afford a Range Rover and to go backpacking. Yeah, I think they have ideas of like where it's coming from, but what did you think, Melissa? I think they really just said the same things, but I'm glad they kind of cleared up the 911 call thing, because that explained a lot, like about somebody showing, like the friends of them showing up and using implying that they use the roommate's phone. I think it's either through their work, or if she did have an OnlyFans, that's a whole different angle I haven't even thought about. That would be crazy. We're a neighbor, but I just feel like maybe the work route would be the most explainable one, because of, like, and Xana and Maddie being the target and Ethan and Kaylee being collateral. Like, that's... Yeah, so I guess what they're implying is that multiple friends showed up at the house. The basement roommates were still sleeping. The friends, I guess, came maybe for the basement people, or maybe I don't even know. Maybe it was Jack who didn't get her calls and he couldn't get a hold of her, so he went over there to go pick up the dog or something. And then he gets there, finds it in a panic, and he gets the roommate's cell phone and calls 911. That's... Well, she did have a job. But definitely not like a job where you could pay for a Range Rover. You know what I mean? I'm sure her parents probably paid for her tuition, but a Range Rover is an expensive ass car. I don't know if her parents are wealthy or not, so that would have to be something that... But it sounds like, from the way they made it sound, is that she bought herself the Range Rover. A friend who arrived, yeah, that's what I got too, was that a friend who arrived used one of the roommates' phones to call 911. Maybe, or you know what? It could have been like, all right, hear me out. Boyfriend comes over to pick up the dog, leaves the car running. Maybe that's why they were, checking the tire tracks or whatever, thinking it was somebody, but maybe it was the boyfriend's. He leaves the car running. He goes in the house, finds Kaylee like that, panics. His phone's in the car, so he runs to the other roommate and says, give me your phone, I need to call 911, blah, blah, And that's reasonable. Or maybe he just left his phone in the car because he was only stopping by for a second, one of those situations. I mean, I could look up, let me see. I could probably find out roughly how much, well, at least like how much they paid for their house. Yeah, friends. Okay, so, well, you would think one of the friends would have a phone. It's just kind of weird they use their phone, but shit, I'd have an OnlyFans if I was young and if I didn't have a kid and I was single and I wasn't this old. I would do it too, hell. But I'm too, I'd be too afraid now that like someone from my kid's school or something would find it. So definitely not doing an OnlyFans. And plus, I have to be single because I don't know if hubby would be okay with me doing that. Maybe if I sold like feet pictures or something, but all right, hold on. Actually, let me do it on my phone because I don't think I have my login on there. Yeah, devil. It's not my it's not my thing. No, I don't blame anyone for doing it, but it makes me nervous. I wonder if I look up her. Let me see. Yeah, right. If you didn't know how crazy the internet was, like what if she had an OnlyFans and she had some like weird stalker who who was obsessed with her. I mean, I never thought of that, but That would make sense. I mean, I would be more inclined to believe something like that than... Let me see. Her parents made it seem like she bought that car on her own. She worked at a restaurant, so... Or no, she didn't work at the Greek. Where did she work? What's her name? I wonder where she worked. I'm looking to see if I can find anything real quick. It's a weird email. She bought it herself? Yeah. Well, they said she got offered an internship, but I don't think she was doing that. Like, I wonder what she was doing. So I found an email of hers. It's an email that's under a whole different name. And it's making me wonder if she uses that particular email. Let me write this stuff down. I'm gonna have to do some research and then come back to this, but I might be onto something. It was a 2016 Range Rover. Oh, so it's probably a little cheaper. Yeah, she might have been working. She might have had like a real deal job. I don't find it odd that the roommates didn't find it either. I don't find that odd at all. Like, just knowing how college is, I just don't find it odd at all. I don't find it odd that they didn't know anything was wrong. I don't find it odd that they didn't wake up. I don't find it odd. God damn. Is there any way to search OnlyFans without downloading the OnlyFans app? Jade, 1, 2, 3. Let me look this up. Sorry, I'm searching something real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. She might have a nice shot. If she got offered an internship for a big tech company, she might do some kind of like a... I know Maddie also did like a social media for what's it called? So they might have been doing like some kind of social media work or something like that. I'm trying to find her Pinterest because I know what the... But what it's named under isn't there anymore. All right, well, I'll just keep that. Let me get these email addresses too. Kelly on case 1. She had 2 TikToks. I didn't know that. Unless somebody has a similar name as her and they just have them both up here. And then, let me see. Her email is strange, though. Like, her email's a whole different name. It's like Jody Anderson is her email address. Jody Anderson and some numbers. See if I can run an email report. Yeah, she could have been saving for a call. Yeah, she could have. I mean, like her sister said she really liked nice things, so she could have been that girl that just like saved up her money until she made enough money to get it. You know what I mean? I could see that. Yeah, I mean, regardless, it's still a pretty penny for a Range Rover, like no matter. What the hell? I am so confused. So, the email listed for her was like this Jody Anderson email, right? And then I did like an email report, but then it brought me to a guy's name. What the hell? So strange. Well, let me write this all down because maybe there's some weird connection and I don't know. But I'm curious now. So I looked up, I did like an email report, and then it brought me and said, well, this email may belong to a guy named Jeffrey Ross Anderson, Robert Harland Lukens, or Kelly.
What's that?
Well, I don't know what that means, but whatever. Okay. Maybe a sign-on bonus. Could be. Could be. Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering. Like, because the only email I can find for her is an email of a whole nother person's name. So then I thought, well, maybe she had like an alt email, you know, which is typical. We do that stuff all the time with YouTube. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. And possible. Let's see. Yeah, that's the only email I can find connected to her, though. That's that. Oh my gosh, she's so loud. All right, well, I am going to hop off because it's been like 2 hours and I worked all day and I am tired and my kid is just about to come home. He's going to be coming home any second from his dad's house, so I'm going to spend some time with him. But I'm going to go down this email rabbit hole, see if I can find anything, and if I do, I will for sure share it with you guys. Definitely. And what's today? Sunday? I don't know. I'll be back probably like tomorrow or Tuesday. So unless there's like some breaking news, then you know I'll be on some time that day. But I'm gonna hop off. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming and watching the press conference with me. And I'll be back this week. Good night, everyone. Oh, let me share my Discord link in case anyone wants to join. We talk about cases and stuff. Things like that. If you want to come in to the Discord, here is the link. Take care, guys, too. Thanks. There's a link. It's only valid for like a couple days, so if you want to come in, click on it now. All right. Good night, everyone. Yes, be safe, everyone. Lock your windows, lock your doors. scary world out there. All right. Good night. Bye.